on fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact and it's Tutorial Tuesday. Today we're going to look on rejects and I'm going to talk about the some of the vocal processing I did. Just a couple of tips when recording the vocals, a couple of tips processing the vocals, and then a couple of tips mixing the vocals. Let's get into it.
Fire, me gonna take you.
So there's quite a lot of different vocal sections throughout the whole song, but if I just talk about the actual drop vocals today. So my first kind of tip for you when you're recording is to make sure that you get your vocalist to record, lots of takes, because you're going to need at least 3 of them to layer up like the main kind of line. So what I've got here is I've got the kind of my best favorite take, which is the kind of main one, which is the mono. It's all still in mono. It's just in the middle.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
And then I've got my extra takes, my take 2 and take 3. And these guys are panned out separately, left and right. So you can kind of listen here to the one that's going on the right.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than.
And then the one on the left.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
And these are different, actual recordings. So, you're going to get a more natural width rather than processing the same recording 3 times differently. If you can just get like natural recordings and pan those. It's just going to be more fun for the entire US Army to listen to. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Anyway, yeah, pan those out left and right separately. And I have put a little bit of formant filtering on them from kilohertz just to kind of change the tone of it a little bit more. So we have a bit more extra separation for the left and the right. And yeah, these there's a lot of other like little sound effects that happen where I've taken bits of the vocal and then I've just done like some weird stuff to it, like these little kind of effects where I've put like a volume automation on just on certain parts of the line to emphasize certain bits, just to make it sound a bit cooler. Well, that's subjective, obviously. But yeah, the subject that I want to talk about next is what a segue is the vocal processing.
Fire, me gonna take you higher.
So now we've got like all three. Now we've got like all 3 going into the bus, and then like reverb, a little bit of width, like extra stereo width. I'm quite like subtle about that, like stereoing things more. A lot of EQing, just a little tweaks and stuff, taking out the lows, the sides, changing the volume, and then we're side chaining the kick and snare on a dynamic EQ. Just to make sure the kick and snare cut through the vocal still. And then, a little bit more EQ tweaks just to fit it in the mix. And at the end of this group here, I've got an SDRR compressor, which is just adding like this little bit of color. If we just listen to the difference of that.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than that. Fire, me gonna take you higher than that. Fire, me gonna.
Yeah, it really brings things more into the foreground, just a certain way that the algorithm on that works and the way it colors it. It just gives a nice kind of push to make it stand out more in the mix. And then after that they go into like another round of processing, and on here there's a kind of tiny bit of delay. It doesn't really do too much, but one thing that I did use that makes quite a big difference is the ring mod from Kilohertz with the bandpass noise. And if I turn this all the way up,
fire, me gonna take you higher than that. We got the flow to make you wanna jump into my bed, you wanna.
Got this really kind of scratchy sound on it, but just by using a tiny bit of it, it just gives this little bit of aggressive, which I don't know what I'm saying, high-end stuff that like helps it pop out in the mix more amongst all of this other quite like noisy neurofunk mess. So that kind of gives it a bit of a chance to sort of fight and compete in the high end a bit, if that makes any sense. If not, then just don't worry about it. But yeah, like tiny bit more width, a little bit more EQing, and then I've just sidechained again the kick and snare, just an extra level of kind of control there. And a little bit of delay, and then that's the final kind of
fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
Final kind of vocal sound. And then, obviously to get it to fit into the mix, I've had to like mix it with my mid bass and other things that are clashing. So you can see here on the mid bass channel, so I've got these two side chains on my mid bass here.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
This one, they're both being sidechained by the vocal, so the mid bass ducks down on the dynamic EQ whenever the vocal is heard, because we want to get the expressive mid range from the vocal. We want that to be like the dominating force in the mid range during that time when he's singing or rapping, or I don't know, Rasta jarring. Jafule. Yeah.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than.
So I've actually got two side chains, and one of them is just a normal dynamic side chain at 250, which is kind of like the lowest part of the vocal. And then here I've got another one, which is a side chain. So it's actually just side chaining the side information of the bass. And this one's quite heavy.
Fire, me gonna take you higher than that.
That one's taking up quite a lot, so we just kind of take out the stereo of the bass whenever the vocal is playing. So we've got the low end stereo of the vocal instead of the stereo of the bass whenever the vocal's playing. So yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense, and it's a little way that you can kind of improve the way your vocals sound. And I'm by no means an expert. This is kind of like the first vocal track that I've kind of worked on, but yeah, I think I've kind of advanced my skills a bit by doing this. I'm looking forward to doing more. Yeah, obviously you can check out the actual full song. The link is up there on my YouTube channel. And yeah, other ways you want to support me, you can grab a hat, t-shirt, check out my Vital presets on my website. Link is down below, and everything on there has a discount at the moment of 20% if you use the discount code REJECTS. And yeah, come along to Patreon and see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis in my Discord, where we talk a lot of shite. So yeah, that's pretty good. And have a wicked day. Peace.